Okay. If you guys are hearing me in the background, I'm live. The show is not. Just doing some audio testing. This is what it sounds like with a 10 decibel audio boost on my mic. Really going to make sure that the audio problems that plagued us in the last two streams aren't going to be a problem today. If you're watching on the replay, feel free to skip ahead 10 minutes. Watch the opening pre-show medley or skip ahead about 15 minutes to get to the live show, which will be on tape by the time you're watching it. But regardless, nonetheless. All right. This seems to be working. I need to check my chats. So we'll leave that open. We'll open up. Oops. You plugged in. Maybe I'll do that. Any eagle-eyed viewers are going to notice I'm wearing my onesie pajama outfit. That is in deference to the Corey Richens trial, which many of you will be watching after this stream, I imagine, including myself. So maybe do a full stand-up, and this is what the onesie looks like at some point of the show. Showing 17 minutes after the hour here locally. We'll be getting started at 1/2 the hour for a live show. Pre-recorded content starts in about 8 minutes. View channel. Dan D. True Crime. Am I live? I'm live. Pre-recorded content starts in about... There's people here. Okay, we'll turn the volume down. Good morning, all. Smiley face. Where's my smiley face? Heck, let's do a party face then. Party face, heart. Hello to the chat. 8 people here. Let's have a reminder to go to all messages rather than top messages. Huh. I don't know if that brought in a 9th person. Good morning to ADJ Farside, Care for JCYT, PSR 76. Mary Farrell is here. Welcome, Mary. Got a fun show on the agenda. Hope everyone's got their medical snacks. Got a coffee going. Yeah, I'm not an early riser. I kind of am all over the clock, PSR. But with the Corey Richens trial, I figured it was important to get on early and not conflict with any of the major streams. There seems to be a lot of competition for the 2.5 hours from now time slot. Anyone who's in the chat, I have boosted my audio. I'm hitting the red zone constantly with my voice, but it looks like it's probably just full volume, like I'm just hitting the tips with my... So let me know. When I listened on my iPhone, it sucked, and it got better. YouTube processed it and, I don't know, did some upscaling, balancing. So if you're watching the replay, it's better than when it initially got loaded. But if you were frustrated, I get it. I get it. I'm trying to get better. I'm doing my best. It's the best I can, Your Honor. I'm doing my best. Doing my best. ADJ Farside is in Central Time, so they're one zone ahead of the Mountain Time zone for the trial. I'm personally one zone behind. I tend to quote in Eastern Time just because, I don't know, I feel like New York is a frame of reference that people are able to go, 3 hours back from that, or 2 hours, whatever it is. People just, I don't know, the world revolves around New York. So, and then there's also the fun part that it has something to do with Ocala. Well, it's the same time zone as Ocala, Florida, where Sarah is. So all my shows broadcast on her time because we know she has endless amounts of. Yeah, today we're going to get to the tips of her murder sandals. We're gonna do a deep dive into Sarah Boone. There's lots of Sarah content today. I'm just touching on a few of the things that are going on in the world, but this is all Sarah this morning, and it's Sarah, tea, coffee, and me is what we'll be doing here. For medical snacks, I've got a little bowl of salted cashews. I made the mistake of not bringing food last time, and I I'm sure I heard my stomach. Fortunately, the sound was so shit, you guys probably didn't hear my stomach. Well, that's a bonus. That's a bonus. Beth of a Salesman's here. Welcome, Beth. We've got 14 people in the chat. You guys are all eager beavers this early time of the morning. Just less than four and a half minutes of the pre-show. I've got this super cool clock widget down at the bottom, so that's handy. That's getting my poop together. She is getting out on the appeal. ADG's far side. It's nothing like the power of positive thinking. And if that's all it took, she would have been out for her appeal yesterday, using all of the money she won from the family trial. All right. I'm just going to do a quick a video. So if you guys are watching, these are previews of what the screens are going to look like, but I just want to make sure they all come up when we go live. So there's that, but we're not launching it. Oh. No. Oh yeah, okay. There is just me. There is a transition window. There's a transition window. There's a sneak peek at today's content. And we've got our main show window. Main show, why is... Oh, because, maybe. No, that isn't right. Okay, this is why we test. This is why we test. Maybe... Yeah, that's not right at all. Okay, doing a little testing here. The image is right. The video capture is right. The max... Maybe it just is layered wrong? Nope. I need a screen capture on this. Otherwise, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Okay, so let's hit the properties of that. Ah, maybe because I shut down the Mac. There we go. There we go. That would have been embarrassing on the stream. Thank you for letting me get it out of my system on this pre-show. And then we'll be going, we've got after show fun. After show fun, go. Yep. We have after show fun 2. Yes. 3. It's happening. 4. Bingo. All right, going back to the pre-show. The timer didn't stop. That's perfect. Okay, we are rocking and rolling. 2 minutes to go. Keep on rocking in the free world. Won't be doing loud sound effects this morning. I think that might have something to do with the balancing, so I'm even going to be toning it down for my Friday night ramble. If you guys are tuning in later tonight, I think I'll be watching the last 2 cowboy criminology videos on Sarah Boone, perhaps having the cowboy himself in the chat. So if you weren't here last week, check out those replays. The audio has improved since then, and the live chat replay has a lot of great answers. Cowboy Criminology was kind enough to spend a few hours with us on the last evening show and answered a lot of questions that we had that came up during his rewatch of part 2 of the interrogation. So make sure you're watching for that. We don't say transition anymore. So these aren't transition screens. These are the new identity screens. What do we call those? Yeah. Well, I'm saying it because I don't mean it hurtfully. The scene wants to transition. I'm a full supporter of that. Full supporter. All right. The chat is still active. We're into our last minute. Shit. Okay. Let me get my voice ready. Well, actually, no. I get to chill because we're going to go to an opening medley. So if you're watching, about 45 seconds, we're going to launch a few shorts, Dan D shorts. You've got about a 5-minute wait. If there's anything you need to do before the main stream, do it now. You can always watch my pre-recorded shorts at a later date. The shorts are going to give me a good audio balance for the full show, so we'll see if the shorts worked. Oh, okay, no, that's good. That's good. I think that's good. Video. Properties. No, that's not video. Medley. Okay. Okay. Well, shit. Now is now. That sounds more like go to bed than wake up, but good morning. We're ready to start the pre-show. We'll just get you going with a little bit of Sarah Boone video clips. Are they playing?
Well, it's like you've been in jail for 1,000,000 years.
Why do you not care?
And we know you deserve to be there for 1,000,000 more.
Ms. Boone, court sentences you to life.
Like George stopped breathing while you were pissed. And you can't remember what you ever did before. What will we do, baby, without Boone? What will we do, baby, without Boone? Because there ain't no other mother I listen to. What will we do, baby, without Boone? Shatting our lives.
A dramatic reading of a YouTube comment. You are obsessed, dude. Third rail has its onset of issues, but I suggest you stay in your on rail. You are not entertaining or funny. I will speak to the bozo who told me to check you out. Taking Sarah way too serious. She's nobody. Go read a book. That was a dramatic reading of a YouTube comment.
Everything was fine and dandy.
So
Not again.
The reason that you killed him?
You all,
Please sit down.
listen to me.
Please sit down.
You all, listen.
Sarah the blue-eyed dragon lived in apartment 3 and frolicked in the Woodbridge mist in pink shorts and a faded tee. Sarah the blue-eyed dragon lived in apartment 3. She frolicked in the Woodbridge mist until she moved to the OCC.
Everything was fine and dandy. We had a good time sitting on the back porch, having wine, and smoking a couple of cigarettes, and then decided to go inside and literally paint, do puzzles, and play, and listen to music. That's why nobody got out of sorts. This is what's mind-blowing to me. Like, I have no clue. Nobody laid a hand on anybody.
Welcome to Learn Latin with Sarah Boone. Mens rea, mens rea, mens rea. Now, say it with Sarah.
I didn't intentionally mean for this to happen.
That's a definition. We're looking for a pronunciation. Mens rea.
It was not intentional.
Sarah,
That was not my intention.
Sarah, we're trying to teach the people Latin. Stop giving your definitions and just say the word.
I'm leaving it like this, please. I'm leaving it like this. I did not intentionally do this.
Fine, we're running out of time. Let's just skip to the definition, Sarah.
No malicious content.
This has been Learn Latin with Sarah Boone.
Everything was fine and dandy.
Faking your way through the world today, Sarah sure does lie a lot. Taking a drink would feel great, but the cops offered us bigot. Wouldn't she like to get away?
All that wine when you're feeling fine. 2 bottles in the trash. You just bought cigarettes and now you're almost out of cash. And your car's across the road. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. But they're rarely glad you came. Drunky the Bear, as you can see, is a messed up, troubled dame. But she wants to be where everybody knows her name. Muldoon's is open for a live Florida audience. Okay, this must be it. This is the story.
Nobody knew George better than I did.
That's it. Oh, let me just turn off the clock because I don't want some timer going on. Pause it. Good, we're coming back. Hey, jazz hands. Good morning. Here I am. This is the Friday show. Friday mornings with Dan D, and all the finest and dandiest chatters that are in the YouTube sphere. See, I'm wearing my onesie pajamas. I'll give you a little fashion show here. These are Joker pajamas. That is the Joker, the clown. Little ha, some Christmas decorations. And yeah, I do have socks on because I've got standards. I'm just going to come out here with a couple of ducky webbed feet or try and get myself on ratemyfeet.com or anything like that. No, there's no butt flap, but there's just this full zipper. So you just actually take down the whole top, which is better. I don't like pooping through the slot and then hoping that you kept the clothes clean. So yeah, this is the outfit for this morning. Wearing my onesie. I can do a hood if I want. Can also do that cool thing that I think I don't usually do this, but you can do that with the hands too. So yeah, there's that. All right, you guys didn't tune in just to see what I am wearing on a Friday morning, though. Let's take a look through the agenda. We have, well, Corey Richens. I guess anyone who's not aware, Corey Richens is on trial because her husband died. Her husband happened to die from a fentanyl overdose, even though he didn't take fentanyl. Well, he must have on the day he died, but not before. So there's that. And then after he died, the woman who's on trial now published a book called Are You With Me? And it was to help children deal with the grief of losing a father. Not necessarily due to their mother, but, I guess good for her kids, good for any kids. Or at least kids that lost a dad to a crazy mom. Oh yeah, doing a little bit of a little updo here because she had her hair done, right? So it was like looking good. She had a matching onesie, perfect hair. Matching onesie, perfect hair. So that's how I'm coming to you today. So there's that. Check out my community tab. I found it's a 6-year-old video from Legal Eagle explaining the Chewbacca defense. And I think the Corey Richens team is putting on a Chewbacca defense for this trial. We've only had 3 days of 5 weeks of trial. But the way that they're asking questions that don't have anything to do with anything, it totally reminds me of the South Park Chewbacca defense. And if you haven't seen it, really quick summary. South Park did a spoof of the O.J. Simpson trial. Johnny Cochran was represented as a rhyming lawyer who had lots of quick quips and catches of phrases. If you remember, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. That was a Johnny Cochran special. The Chewbacca defense has him going off in court about Chewbacca. And Chewbacca is a Wookiee, and on Endor, it's... on Endor, what? Why did I forget what they're called? Ewoks. Ewoks live on Endor. They're little 2-foot guys. Why would an 8-foot tall Wookiee want to live on Endor? It just doesn't make any sense. And if that don't make any sense, then you must acquit. Anyway, watch that. If you want to understand what the Chewbacca defense is, it's something that real lawyers talk about. They think it's quite funny. And I think that's exactly what the lawyers are doing. As funny as it is, it's a real strategy lawyers use. Addie is me is here. Good morning, Addie. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, have a look at my community tab, read about the Chewbacca Defense, and then when I bring it up in a chat, you'll know what I'm talking about. What else do we have here? Okay, so one of the regular features of the morning show has been They Said It on Reddit. Just take a quick look. Is everyone okay with YouTube content about this sub? I came across a channel or two that is using this sub for the purpose of reading contents of particular threads. I find it to be low effort because anyone can find this content. Not sure why an adult needs to provide YouTube commentary about commentary on Reddit. Well, that doesn't seem interesting enough to do for a show, so let's move on. Today, we're going to skip They Said It on Reddit. Hold on, let me just slide myself to the side. A little bit more, a little bit more. These transitions will be smoother in the future. Okay, I need to come over here. There we go. Instead of They Said It on Reddit, because yeah, that's low effort. I'm not a low effort guy. I'm getting up at 5 in the morning to provide content to all the lovely viewers in the Booniverse. Not a low effort person, so let's do something that's a little bit higher effort. You know the personality tests that are online. There's tons of them. There's Myers-Briggs. There's what color is your parachute. There's leadership test, emotional intelligence tests. We're going to take Sarah through the battery of them. We know Sarah better than she knows herself. So knowing that, we can answer the questions as though we're Sarah. We can get her results. The tricky thing is, all of these tests are super sycophantic. Doesn't matter what your personality is. It's like, that's great. You're a really unique person and you've got a lot to offer the world. I found a workaround to turn those results into real Sarah results. So I'll share that with you as we go. But let's get ready for that part of the show. So put on that, get my windows open. And the way we'll do this too, there's a lot of these that are like super obvious kind of answers. But when we have trouble, we'll go into the chat, ask you guys, we'll see what the consensus answer is. And we'll figure out what color Sarah's parachute is, as well as many other aspects of her bizarre personality. And launch it. That was smooth. Fuck me. I'm getting good at this. All right, chat. So here we go. You almost... Yes, Addie is me points out, I almost called Johnny Cochran Jackie, as in Jackie Chiles. And Jackie Chiles did a great Johnny Cochran impression as well. Jackie Chiles represented Kramer versus Big Tobacco, as well as the coffee companies when he got a coffee spilt on his lap. Coffee's supposed to be hot. Not that hot. But yeah, I think the lawyers for Corey's side are definitely trying to channel their TV lawyer, but I don't think they have any experience being a TV lawyer. And you kind of see it from the adjustment from the Where's Waldo glasses guy, because he was probably just, feeling full of himself, was looking at going home. Wow, that guy sure owned the witnesses, and then looked at all this stuff about, guy's an asshole, a bit of a jerk. Why is he talking to the jury instead of the cop? But yeah, so it's kind of nice that they're getting humbled by the online response, because back in the day of the OJ trial, I don't think Johnny Cochran, the Kardashians, any of those lawyers gave a shit what the viewing public thought. Anyway, let's get started. If you were a parachute, how would you be? It's kind of bizarre wording, but screw it. So thinking of Sarah, of these words, strong, agile, tough, and impenetrable. Strong, I don't really see it. She's, weak. She's small. Agile, she looks like she moves okay. But, the underarm flapping when she's doing this so no, I don't say agile. Tough, again, I don't think she's tough. She picks on people who are weak. She's a bully. So impenetrable, that to me is Sarah. Impenetrable, there's no getting through to her. So let's go with impenetrable. Why is that little smiley? Maybe, okay. Here's another one that I think is easy. I don't need to go for feedback. What is your favorite color? Blue, black, pink, green, and red. We have pink locked in. This one, we might need a little bit of, impenetrable. Addie's, everyone's 100% on impenetrable. I'm sure we're fine on pink. So, pet peeves, this is one where we might take a moment here. Is she bothered by littering? She's bothered by texting during an interrogation. That one's got. Being late, she doesn't even look at the clock. There's days where she just going by the flow. I didn't even look at the clock for 4 hours. You guys are always like timelines. Staring at someone's phone. I guess it would be someone staring at someone's phone, like the person doing it, which is almost like the texting during a meal. So these two are similar. I'm feeling texting during a meal is the closest to representing the pet peeve with, is the texting about me? Oh no, I'm just texting. Texting during a meal, I think, I see the chat. Addie is in with me on this. Okay, I don't see anyone disagreeing with it. We're going to put pink there as a pinned message. This is an interesting foursome. What is one ability that you believe everybody should possess? Swimming, critical thinking, cooking, and effective communication. Now, while you guys are debating what the choices are, I will go through. Each of these has a unique Sarah Boone angle to it. Like, you need to know how to swim if you want to keep your head below water. Critical thinking, I could see Sarah saying that she believes everyone should have it because nobody understands me. You guys don't have critical thinking. You just don't know. You guys are all trying to assume. You don't have critical thinking. You have assumptive thinking. She wouldn't think that cooking is the ability that everyone should possess because she doesn't even know how to cook a steak or potatoes. And effective communication. This is another one that I think if we get into her head, she believes everyone should possess it because I'm so good at it. If everyone could communicate as effectively as me, the world would be a better place. So this is tough. Let's again chat if you've got any feelings on this. I don't want to spoil it. Critical thinking because she thinks everyone doesn't understand. Yeah, I definitely like that. She mentions communication in the exactly. So, yeah, this is a tough one. Critical thinking because she thinks everyone is stupid. Yeah. So, and this is where a lot of these tests, it gets a little difficult because it becomes a question of what we know about Sarah or how Sarah would answer the question. But I think to get the best results, we don't want to give the narcissist view of self. We'd rather give, a one-step back view that we're able to give because we have critical thinking skills. So let's see. If we go deep with Sarah, I think swimming and cooking are out. I think we can eliminate those. So now, I'm on the fence of thinking that she thinks everyone should have effective communication because she thinks it's her top skill. Like, she obviously has a deference towards the ability to communicate, even if she's not skilled in understanding what good communication is. She's impressed by words like quiver. So, there's definitely a deference towards the communicators of the world. Whereas critical thinking, it's more of a, so maybe she assumes this is tough. This is really tough. Okay, chat, we're going to, I'll give it 30 more seconds. I see, and I'll just look for the one that has more. I think both of these would work for her, so I don't think we're too far off. Critical, effective. Communication, critical, communication. It's 50-50. And Beth says, I'm going with cooking because who gets freaky on the potatoes? It's the only way to mash them. Started with boiled potatoes, now they're mashed. If anyone's a Beastie Boys fan, there's a song where one of the lyrics, it's a cut from some movie, I think, because they were using tons of sound clips, but it just cuts to, oh, if it's going to be that kind of party, I'm going to stick my beep in the mashed potatoes. Don't go to that party. Candace is throwing a lot of D's into the chat. You know what? For that kind of enthusiasm, let's go effective communication. Let's lock it in. It's got a smiley face. This is only a 10-question quiz. We do have one that's 120 questions, so if you're worried this is not going to take long enough to enjoy each other's company this morning, there's plenty of time. Now, the test writers must think swimming's important, but the question is, what are the hobbies you want to develop? Singing, fractious singing, swimming to keep my head below water, writing, or a little Mr. Cacciatore yoga. And if you guys haven't seen the Suma stream, probably about 2.5 months ago, she's got it in the headline, but there's at least a 30 to 45 minute clip of Mr. Cacciatore leading 5 women through yoga in the backyard of some Florida property. So yeah, check that out if you like close-up shots of a Mr. Cacciatore leading yoga. I think writing is the clear answer here. Yeah, I see writing. I see a lot of people like this. Okay. Because she thinks she's a great writer, but if there was any hobby, like, oh, I'll do more of this, get me a pen and paper, we can do more. What matters most to Sarah? RESPECT, learning, time. Why am I even asking? Like, I'm sure all those things are important to her, but I don't think we need to go to, I don't need to phone a friend on that one. Yeah, she's got endless amounts of with time. She thinks that she's a lifetime learner. She wants respect for herself. She doesn't think respect is important for other people. But money, how can you not? Money, money, money. Here's another interesting one. How often do you work out? So the reality is there's scheduled workouts in the prison, but if you're forced to do something, is that really giving you any info on the personality? So I think that we should answer this question based off of how often did she work out when she had the freedom to choose her own workout times and it wasn't 23 and 1. And given that we know that she was part of the walking group when she had her son, but that probably died off. Hardly ever? Are we feeling good about hardly ever? Yes, Candace, definitely look for the yoga vid. It's in her live, so you're not going to see it necessarily on her channel page. You have to go to her channel page, then look for lives, and then you'll see at least one of them. I know she's got yoga in the description. Maybe if you search up Suma Loudmouth and yoga, it'll come up in the regular YouTube search. You know, there's something about the morning. You know, my high bets are high, but when I get low, I can almost sound like the judge. Giving a little information to Corey Richens, the attorneys. All right, we'll adjourn for a quick recess. We're going with hardly ever here. Hardly ever. Addie is me says, you are not forced to work in prison here. What goes on in Canada? I've never been in prison in Canada, but I have associated with people who have been incarcerated, and I don't know. I don't know what they do there. There's one guy that I work with that was formerly incarcerated, and he wants me to run the support house like a prison. You know, get these other guys, they should be doing their part. And I'm like, this isn't a jail. You guys do have stuff you're supposed to do, but I'm not going to throw you in lockdown because somebody didn't wipe the counter. That's why it doesn't get wiped. Okay. This one, I don't think she's done any of these adventure sports, so at best we'd have to choose of these which ones she would do. In deference to the swimming before and the fact that she wants to keep her head below water, I think scuba diving is the winner here. So we'll just skip ahead. Hopefully that doesn't have too much impact on her parachute. What is one thing you fear the most? Oh, this is kind of sad. Darkness. Closed spaces, heights, my anger. So this is another one where I think it's important to kind of get out of Sarah's head and what she would say, because she would probably say closed spaces. I have panic attacks. Please, can I have the big bay? She's not afraid of the dark because you see her out on the body cam videos where there is almost no natural light. And she's just like a duck in water out there. She's not afraid of heights because she has a townhome and that had the stairs to upstairs and she had no problem floating up those damn stairs. I think we can answer this, that her anger is the most fearsome quality about her. So that's what we're answering, because she wouldn't be honest. She would be like, oh no, I'm afraid of heights. Okay, so here's some great quotes. We'll read each of them. I definitely have one that I think is correct. And I also have one that I think Sarah would say is correct. So we'll start. Make sure. Yeah, she would say closed spaces, exactly, but I don't think she seems to be thriving in closed spaces. But yeah, her anger is truly fearsome when she's to sit there, like even drunk out of your skull. Like, expression in Canada is 3 sheets to the wind, and it's a sailing expression, but basically means that all your sheets are just flapping and nothing's catching wind, and the people from shore can see that your boat's 3 sheets to the wind and you're in trouble. And a person walking down the street that's 3 sheets to the wind, they're not going in a straight direction. They're weaving, they're wobbling. You don't know if they're going to go down at any particular minute. So that's what that expression means. So let's read the quotes. What is your favorite quote? If life were predictable, it would cease to be life and would be without flavor. Eleanor Roosevelt. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. John Lennon. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Walt Disney. If you set your goals ridiculously high and it's a failure, you will fail above everyone else's success. James Cameron. Let those marinate for a moment while I have a chance to check the chat. D on the quotes. Candace is going for James Cameron. Candace, I'm going to keep my mouth shut for now, but I'm with you. Well then, not really. Okay. Just because I said it, don't say it. If you believe something else, by all means, put it in there. Her anger is fearsome, but she's not afraid of making people. Yeah. No, I agree. She would say small spaces 100%, but if we want to get to the core of her personality, I think we can all agree that her anger is much more, that she should be afraid of it, even if she's not. Like, that's, if there was something in her self-help book, like, hey, Sarah, this could immediately make you a better person, control your anger, find a way to control it. Yeah. Okay, so I don't see too much. Let me just give some insight I have on each of these quotes. I think Sarah's predilection would be to choose Eleanor Roosevelt. Given that the other 3 quotes are from men, she's got that bit of a girl boss feel to her, and I don't think that she would get any irony in this quote. The fact that it speaks of ceasing to be life, and she's a woman who ceased someone's life to be. But regardless, I think that would be the one that Sarah picks. I don't think she would get the John Lennon quote. She would immediately apply it to her, and it's like, I wish I was busy making other plans. Life is what happens to me when Kranick just said life. Like life, or... Walt Disney, this is way too ambitious. Her way to get started is to begin talking and quit doing. So that's 100% out. And as I alluded to earlier, this is the one I think is true, because I think it's kind of bullshit. Like, props to James Cameron, great movie maker, or at least, facilitator of making movies. Titanic, lots of moving parts. So Avatar, all those kind of, he's obviously got skills. But this quote is bullshit. If you set your goals ridiculously high and it's a failure, you will fail above everyone else's success. Not necessarily. You can set your goals way up here and still fail down here. Just because you set your goal up here doesn't mean you're coming close to it. You could be a miserable failure with unrealistic dreams, and I think that's a perfect encapsulation of our Sarah. Her goal is to get out on appeal next week, and it's a failure, and she's not going to fail anywhere near anyone else's success. She's going to fail as miserably as she's always failed before. So let's find out what color her parachute is. And the good thing is I did do these tests beforehand. I didn't really spend much time. I just wanted to make sure you got a result and didn't get to a page that said, enter your email here, and for $24.95 you can get your full results. That said, where's my results? Create a quiz. All those pages are good. Oh, come on, give me the results. Create a quiz. Ah, this worked in the pre-show. There's nothing to launch it. Oh, maybe just that. What? Start quiz. Feels like we've done the quiz. Come on. Don't leave us in suspense now. Okay, let's see. Did that work? No. Spoiler alert, when I did it myself, her parachute was red. I did keep that in the side window. Oh, come on. Ah. Okay, they're still here. The answers are in. Well, oh, okay. Okay, thank you for maybe re-click the answers. Candace, 100%. Because they were all spinning before, and now they're happy. Yes, you're opening up beautiful. Okay, so at least all the answers are there. I just have to undo them and redo them. Whew, thank you so much, Candace. Thank you, chat. What does red? They'll give an explanation, and then I'll show you the secret sauce that I figured out to keep the answer from being too much of blowing smoke up Sarah's ass. Okay, how often do you work out? 6 times? No, hardly never. Yeah, she paraglided. No, she scuba dived. Thing you fear most, closed spaces, no, wait, my anger. And James Cameron. Okay. View my results. That is a good bar. Okay. Bold and resilient, red. There we go. So now we'll read the results that the test site gives for people with red parachutes. And just to remember, this test is designed to help you. It's a career path test. So we know Sarah, not interested in working. But if she was, this is the kind of test you might do at a career upgrading, or, a career counselor would have you do to figure out what you're interested in. So a red parachute embodies strength and passion. It suits her vibrant spirit, promising durability and excitement. Share your adventurous side with friends and show them your fearless approach to life. So what I did was go in. Oh, okay. So what I did was go into Google and ask the AI. Let's go in here. If a narcissist scored red on what color is my parachute, what do we know about that person. There's the secret sauce. So now, instead of giving me the sycophantic, reds are great, you're bold, you're this, now we get a real answer. Okay, you guys can see that. That's good. Based on the principles in What Color is Your Parachute and general personality color psychology, a narcissist who aligns with the red profile is often associated with high energy, drive, and passion, is likely to exhibit intense ego operator traits in their personal and professional life. In the context of the flower exercise from the book, which helps identify skills and environments, a red profile for a narcissist suggests the following. Now, this is where it becomes, I'm doing like a service here. Intense need for dominance. Red is associated with being loud, angry, and controlling, aimed at establishing dominance. Zero-sum view of success. They likely operate under the belief that for them to win, gain power, promotion, attention, someone else must lose. Your keys are... the reason my typing was so soft there is because I put a fresh coat of blood on the keyboard before we got started this morning. She has a high need for attention and validation. Red often indicates the desire to be the center of attention and a need for external admiration, notes a source. It's like I asked, tell me about Sarah Boone's personality, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, and you guys will be impressed. So this is just the first stage. We're going to answer 3 or 4 more tests. And for each one, we'll come back to Google and say, well, what if they also XYZ? And then Google's just going to keep going, whoa, you're dealing with a real piece of work here. So this is just the tip of her parachute. Passion-driven manipulation. They may use a facade of passion for their work or cause to manipulate situations and people, often using their red-hot anger if their fragile ego is threatened. My goodness, this is some fine information. Urgency over substance. Red profiles often prefer working in high-pressure, fast-paced environments where they can make impulsive, self-serving decisions without long-term thought. Passive-aggressive control. They cannot handle chaos or lack of control, and they will use passive-aggressive behaviors to regain control if they feel ignored or overshadowed. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. This is fantastic. So in summary, a red narcissistic personality in this context is likely to be a highly visible, aggressive, and ambitious individual who views their professional life as a battleground to secure their ego, often at the expense of others. So that's fantastic. We're going to leave this in that window and we'll go to another window. So let's just take a quick second to say hello to the chat. Get myself a quick drink. Now this is a different result up here. It's a similar result. It's just because I went from the first Google AI result, but now this keeps it in its history and we'll remember it when we ask more questions. So yeah, Google eventually does say run away from that person. Another one to say. I left the window open with my previous conversation and there was some good insight. So if it gave me BS answers today, I was just going to go back to that one, fall back. But where's her picture on there? Yeah, 100%. All those texts to his family, need hugs now, please. Not pursuing afternoon. Poor guy's out there doing 2-3 hours of work, gets back to his phone, 40 messages and a ripped birth certificate. A fucking life. What a life. All right. You guys will still be able to see me, but I won't be able to see the screen because I'm pulling up my next window. Now this next one, this isn't a personality test, but we know her birth date, so we also know her Chinese zodiac sign. If you're not familiar with the Chinese zodiac, every year has a certain animal assigned to it. There's 12 years. Sarah, 1977, born in the year of the snake. The snake sign has 5 variations. Each of those rotate amongst the birth dates. So basically, it's a 60-year run in between the various snakes. If you're interested in Chinese zodiac astrology, it's based on birth year, but before, because their calendar's different than ours. So if you're born in January or February, you might be the previous year. In any case, it's kind of interesting. When I was a kid, I found this more interesting than standard astrology. So let's just read a little bit about a fire snake. And maybe I'll go this one now. Can you guys see it? Yeah, okay, you can see enough of it. Yeah, I wish it was a little bit more sideways, but that's fine, that's fine. I'll read it. This is one of the most intense snakes, with an exceptional drive, ambition, and passion in everything she does, good and bad. She is outgoing, adventurous, and very capable in all she does. The fire snake has a particularly magnetic draw about her and an independent sense of leadership that inspires confidence in others. She knows what she's doing, and she makes sure you know it too. There aren't many signs that are as confident and able as this one. She is also very intuitive, with a high emotional quotient that enables her to lead others and hold a crowd. She would do very well in areas like politics or PR, while her dynamism and intense charisma would bring her great success in a public arena, as a performer, for example. Well, she did definitely perform well as a performer in the public arena of body cam and interrogation footage. She stands out, our girl Sarah. Armed with a tremendous amount of energy, the fire snake is powerful and forceful. That drives her to accomplish great things, particularly what will win her fame, wealth, and authority. If she's got her sights set on something, it must be something big and impressive, and she will make sure she achieves it, no matter how ruthless she must be to get there. Many will respect her for this amazing determination and passion alone. However, this intensity can alienate people around her. So set in her ways and very possessive over her own interests, the fire snake instinctively becomes guarded and suspicious of anyone who may threaten her path. She is quick to lash out at anyone who may not conform to her standards or ideals and become overly dominating. Okay, well, that's interesting. So let's take that into our little Google chat and say, if this narcissist was also, or let's say, also had the traits associated with the Chinese zodiac fire snake, what else do we learn about this person? It just gets so on point. So on point. Another one to say, give me money, give me money, give me money. Yeah, she's a snake. Hello, baby. She's literally a snake in the zodiac. And yeah, no offense to snakes. The chances that everyone born in 1977 is exactly like this, kind of goofy. But it's fun, and we're here to have fun and enjoy each other's company. So in addition to the personality testing, which some people might think, is science and other people might think is hooey, by adding this stuff in, we're clearly having fun. We're not trying to diagnose anyone. That said, if we were, when you combine the red personality, power, results, with a fire snake, intense, intellectual, charismatic, and narcissism, you get a personality profile that is exceptionally potent, highly strategic, and potentially very dangerous in a social or professional hierarchy. The fire snake is often called the most frenetic of the snakes, a little fractious, if you will. This is how that layers onto the traits we've already discussed. High-level strategic manipulation. While a typical red may be bluntly aggressive, the snake influence adds a layer of calculated patience. The slow burn. Unlike other reds who might explode immediately, a fire snake narcissist can wait for the perfect moment to strike. Jesus, that's a fucking opportunistic killer right there. They are masters of the long game, using their intellect to weave complex webs of influence. The mask. Snakes are famously elegant and composed. This person likely presents a very polished, sophisticated exterior. She tries. That hides their aggressive red line for power. That does fit, because you see the body cam and she's putting effort to try and be, oh, I'm just cute. Hi. Oh my God, same guys as last night. You're not going to take him. So yeah, I don't know that her mask is that elegant or composed, but you see, Google gets into it. The more I get into the narcissist, the more Google's like, fuck, let me tell you about this person. Intense desire for the limelight. Fire is the element of visibility and fame. While a standard red wants power, the fire snake wants adulation and status. They don't just want to be the boss. They want to be the celebrated boss. Like Michael Scott, like best boss in the world. They are often incredibly persuasive and bright. They can suck all the oxygen out of a room, making everyone feel like they are orbiting the fire snake's sun. Heightened suspicion and jealousy. Paranoia. Exclusivity. They tend to be very choosy about their inner circle, demanding absolute loyalty while rarely giving it back. For bullshit Zodiac, fuck me. Fuck me, they're on. Red personality, power and results. I win, you must lose. Add fire, energy and fame. I must be the center of attention at all times. Add snake. I will outmaneuver you before you know we're even competing. The total package. In short, this person is likely the grand strategist. They are not a clumsy narcissist who makes scenes of... Okay, we'll give you more personality facts. You'll adjust that, I'm sure, Google. Highly intellectual. They use logic and wisdom as a weapon to make others feel inferior. So even though she's not highly intellectual, she definitely tries using logic and wisdom to make people feel inferior. Visually and socially fastidious. They care deeply about their public image and brand. You all are assuming you don't even know me. Unforgiving. If you cross a fire snake, they rarely forget. Kevin Beck, get him. Billy Lane. The red drive ensures they seek justice to restore their sense of power. Are you trying to protect... Google's worried about me already. Are you trying to figure out how to protect yourself or your territory from someone who fits this description? Very well might be. Very well might be. Okay, so now we're going to go to 1, 2, 3 tests. This is a big one. So this is a great site too. If you want to do testing, this particular page has a lot of, kind of just fun tests. Some of them are a little short. Some of them are quite a bit longer. The big 5 is long. But I think this one will give us a lot more depth into our analysis for Sarah. And so Colleen Michelle Crystal has a wow. So yeah, we've got lots more to go. Lots more reading to come. We're sitting at 6:14. I do want to finish by 7:30 just because that's when the trial coverage starts. We might go a few minutes late because it doesn't usually start immediately, but there's a lot of great channels covering the Corey Richens trial. I'm watching it over on Suma Loudmouth's channel. I'll probably pop over there as I do my come down from my live here. So the big 5, let's see, 120 statements. So again, I'm going to try and answer the ones that are obvious on my own, and we'll just go back to chat. If you guys think I got something way off, put in capital letters like change that one or whatever. We'll go back and revisit some stuff. But with 120 statements, even if I take 30 seconds on each one, we're here for another hour just on this test. So We don't want to do that. Another thing about taking these tests, so this is set up in a, double plus, plus, neutral, negative, double negative. To get the best results, it's always best to give the most extreme answer. So if you've got, a choice of, like, for I am a worrier here, I don't think that Sarah, well, she does ruminate. Okay, so that's one where I'll say, yeah, she's a worrier, but she's not worried about the right things. So well, I make friends easily. I'm going to give a disagree on that. A strong disagree. I have a vivid imagination. Strong agree. I trust others. Strong disagree. So I don't want to be in the middle. These kind of tests, even if you're not as extreme as the extreme answer, the test is going to give you a better result by kind of exploring which extreme is the best, and they tend to ignore the middle of the road answers. I complete tasks successfully. We'll disagree. I think she completes them, but unsuccessfully. I get angry easily. That's 100% agree. I enjoy large parties and gatherings. I don't think she enjoys them. She doesn't like being alone, but I think art is important. Let's put strong agree. I deceive others to get my own way. Strong agree. I don't like things to be a mess. I like to tidy up. I'm going to put just a regular agree, because we know that she, considers it important, but also her house isn't that clean. Like, her carpets weren't cleaned like they were properly cleaned. She might have vacuumed to, give them that vacuum line look, but she didn't clean the stains out of them and stuff like that. So yeah, just the one there. I often feel sad. I'm going to... I feel like that it's an agree, but not fully there. Maybe every 20 questions I'll come back and make sure that the chat is here. A to B is out walking the dog. Perfect. Make sure when you walk the dog, you come back with all of the evidence that's necessary, and you brief all the witnesses you meet on the walk. I like to take charge of situations and events. Easy. I experience deep and varied emotions. Disagree. She experiences shallow and varied emotions. So, partial. Candace is bringing up no on sad. Remember her joy. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to agree. She not often. She might feel sad momentarily, brief, especially as she's being performative with her sadness. But I don't think she's sitting there ruminating like, oh, the choices I've made. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that correction. This is why we're a team here. It takes a village to diagnose a child. I love to help others. I always keep my promises. I find it difficult to approach others. She's calling people that she went to elementary school with looking for money. So she's got more ease in approaching others than I do. I am always busy, always on the go. So that one's a small disagree, because I think she is always busy, but with stupid stuff. It's not like she's a go-getter. She's just busy being fractious. I prefer variety to routine. I think I would disagree with that too, because she was doing the exact same thing for like 4 years from, well, no. Let's think about that. You guys, what do you think? Variety or routine? I think that she's more of a, well, maybe she does prefer routine. Yeah, okay, so then that would be correct. Because she's always complaining, like in the jail, about how, this happens at this time and I have to do this, and don't come at 9. I don't know how 9's going to work. I have a lot of things to do at 9. So, aside from my bed getting kicked at 3 in the morning, how am I supposed to know? So she doesn't like, because that would have been a change. I would have actually welcomed getting my bed kicked at 3 a.m. if I had nothing going on for the previous 3 weeks. We're paused on this one. This one takes no thought at all. I love a good argument, a good fight. I work very hard. So see, some of these we can really rip through. So we've got the first 20. Just having a quick, routine of drinking, exactly. Wake up, drink, finish bottle, buy more, finish some more, buy more. That's a routine. Yeah, she prefers routine to variety. Even, that's a good point too. Drinking Woodbridge Chardonnay every goddamn day. I'm not a huge drinker, maybe that's why, but when I drink, I want to drink something different pretty much every time I drink. Like, I'll drink beer if I'm only having one or two and, just want a beer. But if I'm getting drunk, I don't want to get drunk off the stuff I got drunk off of last time. I want to drink off something new. That stuff was bad. I want to have fun drinks. I will overindulge at times, 100%. Okay, we don't see any complaints. Hello, babies eating waffles with egg bites. That sounds like a lovely little breakfast. Message failed to pin. What is happening? Why can't I pin? That's okay. I'm going to log out of the chat and just see if I can return myself to my former glory. Brian said she preferred vodka. Yes, that's a good point too. Another one to say, but she switched from vodka. And I think that has to do with, she got paid a lump sum from Brian. Those were the money years. Because Sarah talks about, when we couldn't afford vodka anymore, we went to the wine. So I think when the lump sum dried up and she was getting by on her $1,000 a month for her $1,100 a month house, that's when it turned from vodka to wine and, a $5 bottle instead of investing in a $30 handle of vodka that, might last a day or two. There's enough in there for two people to have a really good time. So that suggests that our leftovers were enough for at least, one of them to have a good time. I love excitement. I'm going to say agree. We'll say a full agree. Full 100%. I enjoy reading challenging books and articles. I'm going to give a half because I don't think the book she reads would be that challenging. At the same time, her personality type is a type that she identifies with reading. So I think it's closer to enjoying it than not enjoying it. And we get a nice easy one here. I believe that I am better than others. I am always prepared. We're going to give a disagree because she's rarely prepared, but she's like an enigma. Again, she presents herself as someone who always knows what to do, can keep track of 50 things and the 50 things prior. But we've seen the evidence of it. She is rarely prepared. I just don't know what I'm doing, Judge. I'm sorry. If I had a chance to read this. I panic easily, especially when she's not in the big bay. I am a really cheerful person. Chat? I don't think I need help on that. I tend to support progress and reform. I'm going to say no. She might support it for herself, but she was never active in progressive politics or, prison reform or anything before she was personally affected by it. I sympathize with the homeless. I'm going to give a strong disagree. I think she had nothing but distaste for trailer park trash and people she felt were below her, and she definitely would think homeless people were. I'm very spontaneous. I act without thinking. Yes, she does a lot of things without thinking. ADG Farsi, she does think she's cheerful, yeah. She just walks around with her smile on her face, and everyone in the prison just hates her for it because she's so positive. But she's just a positive person. We are 25% of the way through this particular test. We started, 10 minutes ago. So at this rate, we should be able to be done with plenty of time to discuss it and add in a couple quicker tests. So we'll take a quick pause for green tea and lemonade with a little bit of honey. Welcome to the 31 in the chat that are waking up early for a little dandy Friday mornings. I hope to see you in the Corey Richens chats later today. I fear the worst. I will agree with that because she always thinks that the other shoe's about to drop and that everyone is conspiring against her, and I think there's something to be said for that. I feel comfortable around people. I'm going to disagree, but not strong disagree, because she also didn't want to be put in her own cell where she could have worked on the case 24/7, because she has comforts in the Big Bay. I enjoy wild flights of fantasy. I believe people have basically good intentions. Disagree. When I do something, I always do it well. Another place where the Sarah answer is completely different from ours. We've seen evidence she doesn't always do it well. She definitely identifies with being someone who always does it well. I get irritated easily. 100%. I always chat to lots of different people at parties. Who's been to a party here? House party, people, mingling, office party. We've all seen someone like Sarah, and I think, yes, she always chats to lots of different people. She probably chats to the same person 2 or 3 times without remembering she's already talked to them before. I see beauty in things that others might not notice. The Kintu Sukuroi of the world. Give her a slight agree on that. I don't mind cheating to get ahead. 100%. I often forget to put things back in their proper place. Well, it sounds like she's losing things at the jail. Maybe she just lost it. Nobody stole it. I'll give an agree on that. I don't think that she's that big at putting things where they belong. I sometimes dislike myself. Let's go with a strong disagree. I think she, if anything, feels bad that the rest of the world couldn't be as good as her. Yes, she chats at parties. Chats at people. That's a great point, ADJ. Hey, I'm able to pin messages again, too. That worked. Okay. All right. I try to be in charge, to lead others. Agree. I am empathetic. I feel others' emotions. She did not. I am concerned about others. She has no concerns. I tell the truth. She does not. I am afraid to draw attention to myself. She has no such fear. I never sit still. I'm always on the go. I could sit here all day without a peep, which is untrue. I prefer to stick with things that I know. I'm going to say yes to that. I shout and yell at people. See, a lot of these we don't really need help on. I do more than what's expected of me. Above and beyond, if you will. Yeah, no, she does less. She does much. Well, she is extra. You know what? I'm going to go with a slight disagree rather than the full, because she is so extra. You expect her to, put in a 5-page letter to a judge, and it's 58 pages with a circus flyer. She does do more, but it's also less at the same time. All right, we're almost at the halfway mark. I rarely overindulge. Disagree. If there was a 3-level disagree, I'd go to that. I go out of my way to seek adventure. I even created an adventure fund for my son. He was so sad when you took it. I avoid philosophical discussions. I'm going to agree with that. I think she, again, would think that she's a discusser of philosophy, but anyone with any, even a college 101 understanding of any particular philosophy would say that she's not discussing philosophy, just her personal opinions and applying it towards philosophy. I think highly of myself. Done. I get the job done and carry out my plans. This is another weird one where I'm going to give a slight agree, because she did, I don't know, with the suitcase murder, I think a lot of people in her situation would have felt bad, where she just doubled down and got the job done, carried out her plans. I think there's a lot of people in the world that would be, oh, fuck, what have I done? What am I doing? There would be something. But she is so, we'll even say, task-focused in certain moments that she does carry out her plans. I think we have to give that an agree. even if it's bad. Even if it's bad. I become overwhelmed by events. We know, oh, poor George. We know George was overwhelmed by her. But I think she herself became overwhelmed. We look at her body cam video. A lot of it's performative, but a lot of it is just her not knowing what to do. I didn't know what to do. I have a lot of fun. I'm going to disagree. I think she thinks she has fun. She doesn't really have fun. But it's not a full disagree because I think she likes the concept of having fun, but she doesn't have a lot of it. I think she has a little bit of fun and then gets stupid. I believe there is no absolute right or wrong. I'm going to give that a full agree. Because for her to do what she thinks, or for her to do what she did and still think that there's some moral universe where she's not a bad person, 100% she believes there is no absolute right or wrong. And that's an interesting thing. So I'm looking at that in the wording. If it ever says I believe rather than I have, then it's trying to get more into their mentality, and I'll answer it the way that she would think. But if it's something like a declarative statement, I feel sympathy for those who are worse off than myself, she might say yes, but the answer is no. I make rash decisions, 100%. Halfway through, I am afraid of many things. I'm going to disagree. She's afraid of shallow things, little things, but maybe I don't know about that one. I avoid coming into contact with people if I can help it. I again disagree. She's always assessing people for future flying monkey duty. So I don't think she likes a lot of people, but I think she, by necessity, needs to come in contact with as many people as she can just to parse out the 0.5% that are interested in helping her. I love to daydream. I'm going to give that full because she thinks that she's getting out on appeal, and that's one hell of a daydream. I trust what people say. She does not. I handle tasks methodically. I'm going to give a disagree because she does make lists. She has some semblance of a methodical start, but the reality is she's not actually, carrying through like a methodical person. She's just putting on the methodical hat to, look at me. I've got a list. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I frequently lose my temper. Boom. I prefer to be alone. We know she doesn't. I do not like poetry. That's a disagree. She's a huge Maya Angelou fan. Loves her Bible passages. So we will say no on that. I sometimes take advantage of others. I sometimes leave the place in a mess. I'm going to go slight agree. And again, maybe it's just showing my own standards because I do leave the place a mess, and I can tell that she tidies up her house even though there's the detritus from living a poor life. She cares about the cleanliness, where I don't live a terrible life, but I also don't clean up unless there's people coming over. So I sometimes am down in the dumps. I give her. She does get kind of, pour me another drink. I take control of situations. Yes, she does try and take control, even when she doesn't have control. Okay, I don't see a lot of disagreement in chat, so we're going good. Hey, this is Forever Wonders here. Welcome. Good morning. We're halfway through this test. We'll give a little update for anyone who has joined the chat recently. We're just doing some personality testing, answering in Sarah Boone's voice or based off of our knowledge of Sarah. And then I'm bringing those into Google AI chat and asking it to combine those traits with the narcissistic traits that we've already discussed and see how the new info affects our understanding of Miss Boone. I rarely notice my emotional reactions and feelings. I'm going to give an agree because I don't think she realizes how over the top she is. I think everyone else, I don't think it's impossible not to notice her reactions and feelings, but I don't think that she notices them. Maybe she does, but that's why I'm not giving a full degree. I am indifferent to the feelings of others. That's 100%. I break rules, 100%. I only really feel comfortable with friends. I'm going to give that an agree, but it's not totally because she's comfortable with friends as much as she's constantly whittling down her little friend group to the people that she feels comfortable with. And she's almost like the owner of a used car sales lot that, fires the salesman with the least sales each week. Like, hey, you're all part of the family, but I'm looking to get rid of the weakest link once a month. I do a lot in my spare time. I dislike changes. This gets back to I like routine, so I dislike changes we will agree with. I insult people. I do just enough work to get by. Some of these, really answer themselves. I easily resist temptations. She does not. She enjoys taking risks. She does. She has difficulty understanding abstract ideas. Another one where she would say no, but we know that she doesn't get it because someone will explain something to her fairly cogently. And she, but my thing is, and she just moves right on to whatever she was thinking about before. So she can't even calm her mind to listen to an abstract idea. I have a high opinion of myself. Agree. I waste my time. Agree. I feel that I'm unable to deal with things. And this is another tricky one. I feel that I'm unable to deal with things. So that one, even though we know she is unable to deal with it, we know that she also feels that she's fully able to deal with it. I love life. Fuck. Just sit and marinate on that one. I love life. I love life. Like life or life? Life with parole? I love life. I'm going to disagree. Chat, let's discuss I love life. I love life. Life in prison. Life in a Florida correctional facility. I love life. And then that would even by extension talk about lives of others too, you'd think. Like it implies I love life, like my life, but someone who loves life would be a lover of all things living, and that would put me more to full disagree. Yeah, she would say yes, but then again, if the question was worded, I feel that I love life, I would give 100%. But I love life, I want to take it more from an empirical standpoint, kind of the omniscient author. And Sarah says she loves life, but she hated life. She snuffed out life at every opportunity. She would say yes out of pride. Yeah, and hello, baby, that's another reason why I'm doing this, is because a lot of personality tests, they're kind of spoiled by the fact that we're taking them and answering about ourselves, and our opinion about ourselves is always different than the reality. It's, we might know ourselves better than anyone, but we're also going to be blinded to our own faults. So by doing this with what we know about Sarah from, years of interested observation, I think we're going to get closer to some results that would give us some insight into her. And again, all of these results are super sycophantic. It doesn't matter what personality you end up with, you're good. But then by combining that with what does this personality look like as a narcissist, it's amazing how spot on it's been so far. So we're just sitting on I love life. I'm debating between strong disagree and regular disagree. I don't see anyone really complaining with those. She doesn't love life only as a victim who is felt sorry for and being, she. So I think the real debate is between strong disagree and regular disagree now. And I think based off of her conduct, to do something so heinous to George, I think we have to stay at no, she doesn't love life. Any lover of life would have been overcome by the emotion of the situation and like, oh, fuck, what have I done? What have I done? And, you know, throwing herself on the mercy of the, yeah, we're going strong disagree. Okay. Okay, we can move forward. And agree, yeah, she wouldn't answer it this way because she doesn't have the self-reflection and introspection to understand these things about herself. But I believe laws should be strictly enforced. You know what? I'm going to agree because she thinks that, you know, people without a green card should definitely get looked at. She's a bit of a law and order person when it doesn't come to her own faults. So, and again, this is a believe now. This isn't what do we know? This is what does she think? And I think she thinks that laws should be strictly enforced. It's just that she didn't break any laws because people didn't really look at the facts of her case. I am not interested in other people's problems. She does not give a shit. Hey, Sarah, my brother died. Oh, yeah, well, whatever. I hope he's got good care at the end. Here's what I need, though. This is my thing. I rush into things. I get stressed out easily. I keep others at a distance. I like to get lost in thought. I think she gets lost in thought. I don't know if she likes it, but I distrust people, 100%. I know how to get things done. I'm going to disagree. That's that fine line of I believe I know how to get things done versus I know how to get things done. I am not easily annoyed. Disagree. I avoid crowds. We'll give it a slight disagree because she'd rather be in the big bay than in her own cell. I do not enjoy going to art galleries or exhibitions. Now, I don't think she's ever went to an art gallery or an exhibition. I don't think so. In her free time. So I think you'd have to go at least once to say you enjoy it. I don't think she would not enjoy it either, though. I think it would be the sort of thing, okay, that's what we're doing today. Do they have wine there? So I do not, we'll give it a slight disagree. I think she kind of liked the idea of it and being an artist herself, she would like to go there and basically shit on them. I'm better than that. Fuck. This is awful. That's just like 2 bars of red on a background of blue. I sometimes am uncooperative. I hinder other people's plans. Easy. I leave my bits and pieces and belongings around. Just because of that wording, the bits and pieces, that's like the braless out on the body cam. So that we'll say 100% her bits and pieces are all out and asunder. I feel comfortable with myself. So that's another one with the feel there instead of I am comfortable with myself. We'll give a full agree because she does feel comfortable with herself. I don't think she would change one thing if she was given the opportunity. I wait for others to take the lead. I don't understand people who get emotional. I think she would agree with that despite the fact that she is one of those people. I don't have time for other people. I sometimes break my promises. I am not bothered by difficult social situations. Okay, we'll disagree with that. I react slowly. Strong disagree. I am attached to conventional ways. Is Sarah a trad wife? I think some parts, like, you know, the Owens defense, you don't hit a woman, you know, back in the day, you just don't do it. I think she has some attachment to conventional ways. The man should work while the woman stays home and drinks the wine. I always even the score with others. Oh yeah, she's revenge fantasy bitch for sure. I sometimes put little time and effort into my work. I'll agree with that. I wouldn't go strong agree because sometimes, like, her work, we have to define this as, like, her letters and shit because she never had a proper job. Like, when she had a proper job, she didn't hold it for long enough to achieve anything. But I would say that sometimes little time and effort, because she's putting a lot of effort in, and even time, but not the right time or the right effort. So just a single agree. A to B points out she has her own art gallery. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Okay, so we're in the final 10 questions. We're going to get to a result here soon. Very exciting. I am able to control my cravings. I like action and danger. I am not interested in theoretical discussions. I'm going to agree with that. I think, again, there's a bit of like she likes, well, if my appeal comes out, but when people, okay, well, let's just say you heard about another person who put a person in a suitcase. What would you think should happen to them? I don't think you guys are understanding me right now. She just blows right past the theory. So I think she's basically not interested in theoretical unless it's something that she is theorizing about. So we'll just put an agree. I like to talk about my qualities. Strong agree. I have difficulty starting tasks. We'll agree. I remain calm under pressure. Strong disagree. Always look on the bright side of life. Disagree. Disagree, disagree, disagree. I believe that we should be very tough on crime. And again, this now is the believe rather than what we know. So I'm going to say that she thinks she's going to disagree that we should be a little easier on criminals. And I know that contradicts an earlier statement, but that'll probably just make her results less decisive in that area. I try not to think about the needy. Yeah, I think that's true. I act without thinking. We've got it. 120 answers. Is there anything that we want to change? Carolina Hurtado, welcome to the chat. She asks, has anyone ever seen her art? Just curious, because if you can draw in prison, that's a moneymaker. Drawing on envelopes, etc., in exchange for commissary in prison or other inmates. My suspicion, Carolina, is that her artwork was lettering based. Live, love, laugh. It's the little things like little signs with various fonts and decorative lettering. And I don't think anyone will pay for that in jail. Like, I think you're absolutely correct. Like someone who can do a really nice sketch and to, like my daughter loves teddy bears. Can you draw a teddy bear on this letter I'm going to send out? That is valuable. Somebody putting, circus style lettering to, my daughter who loves teddy bears, not nearly as impressive. So I think that Sarah's art skills are less marketable than a traditional artist. All right, I think people are good. Let's just click the next button and see what that said. They're going to ask for a little bit of info with it. We can give it. I am a female. My age is 48 years old. I am from the United States. My education level is, I sat for the college entrance exams and then my grandparents died, so I only have high school. And you are taking this test to know what work study suits you. What is your current employment status? I am officially unemployed. Did you have a paid job? Let's just say no. Ba-ba-da-da. The Big Five Personality Test Report. So this is great. This is great because these results here, hopefully my mouse is working. Yeah, I think you can see it. These are great extremes. Openness to experience, it's a little bit more mediocre. Extroversion to introversion, that's a little bit more in the middle. But almost like the lowest possible scores for conscientiousness and agreeableness, and almost the highest score for natural reactions. So those are going to give us some good indicators. So let's just focus on the extremes. Conscientiousness. When it is very low, it's a person who's spontaneous, disorganized, prefers flexible plans, dislikes precise details. Someone very low on agreeableness is hard-headed, skeptical, competitive, proud, prefers competition over cooperation. And someone who's very high on natural reactions, they experience negative emotional reactions and feelings of anxiety, prone to worry, easily upset. Now that said, this isn't the info we're looking for. As you know, it's kind of interesting, but I don't want to pay for the extended report. I want to see what these details do when they are combined with a narcissist. If a narcissist took the Big 5 personality test and scored extremely low on agreeableness and conscientious. I'm gonna have to look back. Uh-oh. No, I'm not. Conscientiousness. Let's just cheat there. Control copy. Back to the... I had the beginning right. I had a good start. Very good beginning. Extremely low on agreeableness and conscientious, and extremely high on natural reactions. What do we now know about this person? This is where it gets fun. This is my favorite part of this process here. Person. All right, are we ready? When you layer these Big 5 results onto a red fire snake narcissist, the profile shifts from strategic mastermind to something much more volatile and unpredictable. So we've done it. We've unlocked that. Yeah, because strategic mastermind was giving her a lot of credit, but now we're narrowing it down. In psychology, narrowing it down to the tip of the tip. The combination of high narcissism, low agreeableness, low conscientiousness is often referred to as part of the dark triad or dark tetrad. Adding high natural reactions, often called neuroticism, creates a very unstable dynamic. Here's a breakdown of what we now know about this person. The entitled impulsivist. Low conscientiousness means this person lacks self-discipline, organization, and a moral compass regarding obligations. Reliability. They make grand promises, fire snake charm, but fail to follow through. They feel rules are for ordinary people, not them. Shortcuts. Instead of working hard for success, they are prone to cheating, lying, or taking credit for others' work to maintain their red status. Chaotic environment. Their personal and professional lives may be a string of unfinished projects and burned bridges. We are getting to the heart of Miss Sarah Boone. Give me 1 second to turn off my mic. There we go. That was the sound nobody needed to hear. Okay, we're back in action. The aggressive antagonist. Low agreeableness is the core of this narcissistic interpersonal style. Lack of empathy. They don't just ignore your feelings. They may actively find them annoying or a sign of weakness. This is so on point. Hostility. They are naturally suspicious and competitive. Combined with their red drive, they view every interaction as a battle they must win. So on point. No remorse. If they hurt someone to get what they want, they likely feel justified or blame the victim for being too sensitive. I just think it was a woe is me thing. I think, He's always doing that. Ugh. So that brings us to the emotional powder keg. Sounds familiar? This is the most dangerous change to the profile. While a snake is usually cool, high neuroticism makes them reactive and thin-skinned. Narcissistic rage, because they have low emotional stability, any slight, real or perceived, triggers an immediate, intense, emotional meltdown or rage. Insecurity. Their grandiosity is a brittle mask. Underneath, they are hypersensitive to rejection and prone to bouts of anxiety or depression if they aren't winning. Volatility. You never know which version of them you will get. The charming fire snake or the explosive red aggressor. Resulting personality is the volatile tyrant. Low agreeableness makes them cold, cynical, and intentionally manipulative. Their low conscientiousness makes them reckless, lazy, and unreliable. Their high neuroticism makes them paranoid, moody, and prone to losing it. How does this person operate in the real world? This individual is likely a failed or high conflict narcissist. Unlike a high functioning narcissist who can maintain CEO level facade for years, this person's lack of discipline, low C, and emotional instability, high N, means that they likely leave a trail of explosions behind them. They want the power of a red, the status of a fire snake, but they lack the work ethic and emotional control to keep it. This makes them dangerous in the short term because they are desperate and unpredictable. Is this someone that you are currently in a power struggle with? Dealing with this specific profile requires a very different strategy than dealing with a standard narcissist, mostly because they are too impulsive to be reasoned with via logic. This is our Sarah. This is it. So now I have another quick one we can do. Miss 1010, anyone know what that is? 1010 is a Libra. So let's go a little silly again. Let's get into the world of astrology. If this narcissist also had the traits associated with the Libra horoscope, how would that affect this personality profile? Addie is me says Google AI knows Nutsy better than any of it, even us. Wow. Well, the only reason Google knows how much they do is because we've used our collective hive knowledge to feed the answers into these tests. And now Google's able to do, I don't know, the heavy lifting of putting all that information together and giving us this profile. So let's see how Libra changes this. Adding Libra to this specific mix creates a fascinating and frustrating paradox. On the surface, Libra is a sign of balance, harmony, and the diplomat. However, when you pour a high neuroticism, low conscientious narcissist into a Libra mold, the traits don't cancel out. They become tools for manipulation. Here's how the Libra influence recalibrates the volatile tyrant profile. A healthy leaf. So this is the weaponization of fairness. A healthy Libra seeks justice. A narcissistic Libra uses the language of justice to serve themselves. The double standard. Because of their low agreeableness, they don't usually care about your needs. However, the Libra influence makes them obsessed with fairness whenever they feel slighted. They will use circular logic to explain why it's only fair that they get their way. Point of reference, we have not put Sarah Boone's name into this Google chat. These results I'm looking at my phone like I'm talking to you guys on the phone. I got to look at the camera. These results are based just off of the personality questions that we've entered. We haven't put anything about this fairness, and this is exactly, Sarah, the professional victim. If they don't get the red power they crave, they will use Libra's association with the legal moral high ground to play the victim, claiming they are treated unfairly or unjustly. The aesthetic narcissism and surface charm. Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty. This leads to a polished facade. The person likely puts an immense amount of energy into their physical appearance or the vibe of their environment. I don't know that that's totally Sarah, but you can't be 100%. Charming predator. Despite being low agreeable, they have social lubricant. They know how to mirror people and act the part of the charming host. I wouldn't say the charming host, they know how to act the part of, I'm telling you the truth. Why don't you believe me? It's only when you get close to that high neuroticism and red aggression leak, or it's only when you get close that the high neuroticism and red aggression leak into the leak through the pretty exterior. I'm going to have a quick sip because I fucked that all up. And you notice the depth of the response. It's like usually Google, AI will give you like 2 or 3 sentences, and if you want to know more, ask me more. Google's like, fuck, this person's fascinating. I'm giving you all the info. Margie420, welcome to the chat. Apologies to anyone I'm missing. This is a bit high effort, and I'm spending a lot of time on my bloody keyboard, so I'm not checking the chat nearly as much as I will when I rewatch it. In any case, I do appreciate everyone who's taken their time to be here. I'm doing my best to get you guys out of this show by 7:30-ish so that you can watch the Corey Richens trial or just get on with your day if you're not watching that. But let's continue because this is just great. Chronic indecision meets low conscientiousness. Libra is famous for weighing all sides. Combined with low conscientiousness, this becomes a nightmare. The flake. They may struggle to commit to any path that requires hard work. They weigh the options endlessly as an excuse for why they haven't finished anything. Triangulation. Instead of direct confrontation, which a Libra dislikes, they will play sides. They might tell person A one thing and then person B another. Or they might tell person J one thing and person N another, maintaining a peaceful surface while causing chaos behind the scenes. The iron fist in a velvet glove. Because red personalities are blunt, but Libras hate to look like the bad guy, this person becomes a master of passive aggression. Instead of yelling at you, they might use polite gaslighting. They'll insult you with a smile, or use balanced language to make your valid concerns seem extreme or unreasonable. The updated profile is now the aesthetic gaslighter. That's a great term for her, the aesthetic gaslighter. The mask, I just want all things to be balanced and beautiful. The reality, I will use social etiquette to silence your complaints. The mask, I am wise, strategic, and magnetic. The reality, I am envious, secretive, and status obsessed. The mask, I am a strong leader who gets results. The reality, I am a bully who lacks empathy and demands dominance. The mask, I'm just a sensitive person. The reality, I am emotionally unstable and will explode if you challenge me. This person is likely in a constant state of internal war. The Libra side wants to be liked and seen as good, but their red and low agreeable side is inherently hostile. Their low conscientiousness ensures that they fail to meet their own fire snake standards, which triggers their high neuroticism and anxiety and rage. The result is that they will use triangulation, pitting people against each other, while they stand in the middle looking like the peacemaker. I don't know why you guys can't get along. Does this charming but chaotic description match the person you're thinking of? If so, your biggest challenge is likely their gaslighting, as they're very good at making you feel like the unbalanced one. Would you like to explore specific strategies for gray rocking or setting boundaries with a specific personality type? I wonder if Judge Kranick consulted Google AI to figure out a plan for our Sarah. Now, we are running a little short on time, so instead of going to the Myers-Briggs test, which is this one, I believe... Oh, well, no, maybe... Let's see. I can't remember if this... Oh, I know what I'll do. Basically, I don't want to redo the Myers-Briggs tests. I think we got a pretty good result. But now I just want to find... I want to find the test I gave it earlier and then just incorporate that. There we go. So when I did Myers-Briggs, she came out as an ENFPT, which extroverted, intuitive, feelings-based perceiver with turbulent rather than... Okay, so it's known as the campaigner amongst the 16 personality types. We will just add this one. So if this narcissist also scored an ENFPT on the Myers-Briggs test, what do we know now? And that'll be the final component we add into our little personality profile. And then I've got a couple of fun things that will only take a minute or two. We'll use that to close out the show. So let's even, before we get into that, let's just, what is ENFPT? We'll just get that as a separate window. So the ENFPT, oh, we have some gift memberships. Thank you so much, Elsie. Elsie has sent out 5 gift memberships to Irish Eye, Fifi Moose, Kim Stole My Fish Soap, Misty Felder, and Retired Not Bored. Congratulations to the new members. We'll take this quick opportunity. As far as membership goes, I am only opening up memberships. I haven't opened super chats, super stickers, anything like that. My thinking is I would rather redirect anyone who wants to give super chat money, buy gift memberships for other people who are in the chat. You want to buy 1, 5, whatever you purchase. Anyone who buys gift memberships, I'm happy to give a free super chat. So LZB, if you have anything you would like me to say, whether it's a quote from the Sarah Boone-verse, whether it's a passage from the Bible, a movie quote, song, whatever it is, put free super chat for being a gifter, and I'll make sure that that happens. So I'd rather have more members than any particular member just coming up in the chat. I don't mind saying, I'm going to read a lot of comments. So good. Another one to say is having a good time. I see David D's here in the house. Welcome, David. I've seen you in a few chats before. Thank you for showing up. So yeah, we're going to look at the key characteristics of the ENFP before we go to the Google amalgamation of this with our narcissistic personality. So we're looking at emotional sensitivity and self-reflection. This personality type on its own is deeply introspective, questions decisions and feelings, and is driven towards self-improvement. They're usually highly attentive of the emotions of others, picking up on subtle changes of mood. Well, this is interesting because we'll see how this very positive description gets warped by adding it to our personality profile. The high stress response, they tend to experience more anxiety when handling everyday stress, may be less confident in initial decisions. While ENFPs are known for big picture thinking, turbulent types tend to be more detail-oriented and meticulous, which can help in decision making. They are passionate and enthusiastic in relationships, but may be prone to insecurity or codependency, sometimes putting other needs before their own. Okay, so that gives us a little bit about that personality type. Because we didn't do the full test, that's how we'll find out. But now, add it to our profile and we get the high energy contradiction. While a typical ENFP is known for warmth and empathy, a narcissistic ENFPT with your specific low agreeableness, low conscientiousness scores means use these campaigner traits as tools for a very specific type of manipulation. Here is how the ENFPT layer completes the picture. ENFPs naturally mirror others to build connection, which results in a masked reality. The person calls themselves an empath or a deeply sensitive soul. But because they are low agreeable, they don't actually feel your pain. They just know how to perform the look of someone who does. They use this sensitive persona to maintain a moral superiority and deflect any criticism. They use ideas as a tool for dominance. The ENFP's extroverted intuition generates endless ideas and possibilities. The red spin, instead of brainstorming for the team, they use their creativity to outmaneuver others. They will flood a conversation with 50 different visions to confuse you or make themselves seem like the only visionary in the room. The fire snake flare. Their fire element craves the spotlight for these ideas. If you don't treat their every thought as genius, they view it as a personal attack on their identity. This is perfect. This is like Sarah's describing her case to a potential lawyer, and the lawyer goes, "Oh my God, P, she sighed. She sighed. I can't believe she sighed. How can I have someone represent me that sighed?" As she sighs, explaining it. The victim-hero cycle. This is what you get when you add the turbulent to the high neuroticism. The turbulent variant is defined by high reactivity to stress and self-doubt. Fragile grandiosity. Unlike an assertive narcissist who feels untouchable, this person is hypersensitive to rejection. Defensive retaliation. When they feel slighted, their high neuroticism triggers an emotional meltdown. They simultaneously claim to be the most mature person in the room while acting like a helpless victim of your cruelty. Bing, 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 bing. My goodness. My goodness. Hey, looks like the chat's still enjoying this. This might be something we can do again, too. I think maybe on a monthly basis. Pull up even more silly tests like, which Sex and the City girl is Sarah? And I think which one would she be? Sarah Jessica Parker? Because she'd want to be the center of the attention. She wouldn't want to be a side character. Anyway, do even goofy tests like that. And, which friend's friend are you? And that sort of thing. Just do it as a fun thing once a month, Just so that I'm not accused of doing low-effort Reddit posts all the freaking time. Wouldn't want to have that be my nom de plume. Dan D's low-effort Reddit set it on Reddits. Chaotic rule breaking. Low conscientiousness with perceiving. The perceiving trait in the ENFP usually means they are spontaneous. The dark side is combined with low conscientiousness. They don't just dislike rules. They feel rules are an unjust cage designed to stifle their unique spirit. Fuck me. It also results in the flake. They will abandon projects or people the moment the new car smell wears off, justifying it as following their authentic path. It's no way to live life, man. Trying to get friends. Oh, it's no way to live a life, man. You trying to get on camera, dog? We will take a quick break to give the dog her camera time. There's Lola. Hi, Lola. Nice of you to pick up your head and look at the people. Going back to bed? All right. Lola loves a morning stream. All right, going back to... All right. Dorgan's here. Hey, welcome, Dorgan. I know that you're a Corey Richens trial watcher, so don't worry, my plan is to be done before that coverage starts in about 15 minutes. So we'll be wrapping this up, going to a couple of fun things that we have time for, and then just calling it a day until tonight. I'm going to do a stream tonight, too. I don't have any plan for that. Well, no, I have a bit of a plan. My plan is to look for Hear Me Out stream tonight. He usually does a Corey Richens trial wrap-up. I'm going to sleep from now till later and then join his chat. And when it looks like he's about to wrap up, I'm going to maybe make a little announcement that I'll be doing a late-night stream, and we'll do a couple of watch-alongs with Cowboy Criminology and that sort of thing. But could be as late as 8 or 9. No, I don't know when he ends, but Eastern time it would be... I don't know. It's going to be late. It'll be a late one. So if you're interested, just keep an eye on my... I'll post it on the community tab first once I figure out what time I'm going to go, or approximately what time. But yeah, after the HMO stream tonight. After that. All right, let's look at our updated profile before we finish. I think... Blink Bunny, that's a new name. I love how the collective hatred of this woman brought so many together. I love that how our collective hatred brought Blink Bunny to us. I haven't seen Blink Bunny before, and I appreciate seeing new names as much as I appreciate seeing returning names. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's read about the Masonic Manipulator. That's a great name for Sarah, too. The Messianic? I'm probably pronouncing it. It's like Messiah. So, Messianic? The Messianic Manipulator, Sarah Boone. This person is likely a high-conflict narcissist who views themselves as a misunderstood genius or healer. They are performative, using Libra charm and ENFP warmth to draw people in. They are explosive, using high neuroticism and red aggression to punish those who see through their mask. They are unreliable, using low conscientiousness and the fire snake impulsivity to avoid any real accountability. The warning sign: if you try to hold them accountable, they won't just get angry. They will use therapy speak to tell you that you are toxic and blocking their growth. Are you finding yourself constantly apologizing to this person for things they did to you? This is the classic ENFPT narcissist reversal. Okay, so let's just be polite here. Thank you, Google AI. This is a description of a horrible woman who locked her boyfriend in a suitcase in Florida. We'll see if Google puts 2 and 2 together. The person you were describing is Sarah Boone, who is convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison in December 2024 for the 2020 death of her boyfriend, George Torres Jr. While What Color Is My Parachute, the Chinese Zodiac, and the Big Five are psychological and archetypical frameworks, Boone's real-world behavior during the incident and her subsequent trial align chillingly with the volatile tyrant profile that we discussed. The suitcase incident, the game as a trap. Boone claimed that she and Torres were playing hide and seek. However, phone videos she recorded showed her laughing and taunting Torres as he pleaded for his life, saying he couldn't breathe. calculated retribution. In the video, she explicitly linked his suffering to her own grievances, stating, "That's what you do when you choke me. That's what I feel like when you cheat on me." This reflects the fire snake's penchant for seeking justice through calculated, hidden, strategic strikes. During the trial, a forensic psychologist testified that Boone possesses narcissistic traits, though she did not meet the full clinical criteria for NPD. High neuroticism and volatility, Boone went through 8 different attorneys, represented by a 9th at trial, due to her inability to get along with them, often sending the court long, rambling letters blaming everyone but herself. This reflects the low agreeableness and high neuroticism, traits of an unstable personality. Low conscientiousness, lack of remorse. Despite the video evidence, Boone maintained her innocence and even smiled during sentencing. She frequently used therapy speak, common in ENFP manipulators, to frame herself as the ultimate victim of battered spouse syndrome to justify her actions. The Libra aesthetic. Throughout her trial, observers noted her attempts to appear collected, polite, and confident. The Libra ENFP mask. Even though her past behavior was described as erratic and aggressive. Weaponized fairness. At her sentencing, she gave a statement claiming to forgive the victim for the abuses she alleged he committed. A classic inversion of accountability where she used the concept of grace to center herself once again. Sarah Boone's case serves as a dark, real-world example of how these specific personality markers, when twisted by a lack of empathy and a high emotional instability, can lead to horrific outcomes. Well. I think we will, I think we learned a lot. So let's bring it back to me, bringing it back. Did we have fun? Did we have a good time? I had fun. We have about 8 minutes left before the trials are starting, so let's just see if we have time for a little fun. I think this will work. I'll move this over here. We're going to watch some old TV advertisements. We're going to start with a classic. Let me just reframe myself so you can see. Yeah, my hairstyle stayed with my... Okay. No, we'll let it... Yeah, that's about it. Wearing a onesie for Corey Richens. Here we go. Let's see. Or is this going to work? Video capture. Okay. Aha. Oh.
Selling is service.
And service is selling.
Service is selling.
And selling is service.
I'm selling to the customers to make them feel all right.
I'm buying all these products with oh so much delight.
I can help you find anything you could possibly want.
Such ostentatious goodies that I can flaunt.
Selling is service.
And service is selling.
Service is selling.
And selling is service.
We enjoying this? Is selling the service good? I'm pausing it because this is a fair use reaction. I'm not the type of person that would use copyright material intentionally incorrectly. So let's just talk a little about this. This is an old commercial. I'm Dan D, and I'm talking about this old commercial. This is one I was only aware of when I started working at a video game store, and we had some cheesy training documents, and I had to train my employees on the stuff corporate provided, and one of them was like, oh my God, this is like selling a service. And then we all watched this and had a good laugh and sold stuff to people. So let's listen to a little of verse 2, and we'll go to the next one.
Hello there, Nikki. How you doing today? I'm in a good mood, and it's here to stay.
Okay, we'll skip ahead a little bit. I like this because we get in, like, there's a lot of, it's kind of repetitive, just you want to greet customers. Jill here, Jill is bad. So you always need the bad person. This guy comes in, he's ready, he wants to buy things. Jill is a bad employee. Let's see what Jill does.
My name is Jill, and I don't like to sell. I'm an unhappy person. Everyone can go to heck. Complain, complain, that's all I like to do. My kids are rowdy, the weather is cloudy, and I'm feeling sick too.
Hello there, Jill. They call me Happy Pete. I came to the store to buy myself a treat.
Do whatever you want, I don't really care. Just leave me here moping in the depths of despair.
You look so unhappy that you're making me sad. I won't buy as much, 'cause now I feel bad.
Selling is
And then she gets right back into it. Selling is service, because we don't have a new chorus. All right. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I know with music, when you do the entire song, you really run a chance of losing that copyright strike battle. Let's watch this one from the 80s. Now, if I'm correct, this is a commercial, local car dealership. Cal Worthington in the Washington State area. I'm not from Washington, but I'm from the part of Canada where we got all the American commercials. And I still remember the lyrics to this song.
Here's Cal Worthington and his dog Spot.
If you want a better buy, go see Cal. You're the guy who's satisfied, go see Cal. Give a new car to your wife, she will love you all her life. Go see Cal, go see Cal, go see Cal.
Hey, once again, I want to show you a painless way to get into a new Ford. Look, I'll sell you this new 84 LTD for $75.95, or I'll lease it to you with no money down.
So just for a little pricing info, this is 1984 commercial. So these are new cars that are being sold at that price. It's not a used 1984 vehicle being sold. It'd be great if it held its value that well.
$180 a month. I'll sell you this new Ranger pickup for $57.95, or I'll lease it to you with no money down, $136 a month.
That was a truck. That's a pickup truck.
1984 Bronco 2. Sell it to you for $93.95, or I'll lease it to you, no money down, $219 a month. A 1984 Ford F-150 pickup. The full price is $66.
That's a Ford F-150. That's crazy. All right, we're going to go to the next commercial. This one is from the 90s. This is a Vancouver-based commercial. There's a guy named the Captain that owned a pawn shop. Crazy thing about this commercial is we just saw one commercial. Well, the video quality is about the same in this commercial, and it's from the mid-90s. I haven't
Work.
upgraded.
And play
Yeah.
without delay.
This is the delay. You're
Choose the
delaying my whole
browser
stream.
engineered for speed.
This is not fast. I'm not downloading Chrome. I probably already have Chrome. Why are you even...
Hi, I'm the Captain. At the Captain's Bargain Store, we buy and sell things fairly. If you need a stereo, we have literally hundreds of receivers, tuners, amplifiers. You name it, we got it. Hi, Mom, you watching? Aye, and come on down. Bye-bye. Hi, at the Captain's, we buy things fairly and we sell things fairly. We have lots of saxophones, trumpets, clarinets, and flutes at very reasonable prices. Eat your heart out, Clinton. Aye. Good.
Okay. Lola, the show is almost over. I'll be taking you out too. You need to calm down. We'll do one final commercial. This is from the 70s. I can't even remember what this is. I loaded it up though, so it's probably good. It's okay, Lola. We're almost done here. Let's see what this is going to be. I can't even remember. Oh. Yeah.
Dear clumsy bellboys, brutal cab drivers.
Okay, this does need some context. This is an American Tourister ad. American Tourister is a suitcase company that was a competitor with Samsonite. And I've been looking for a way to work this video into one of my shorts, but I think it's better, we'll just let it play.
Careless doormen, ruthless porters, savage baggage masters, and all butter-fingered luggage handlers all over the world. Have we got a suitcase for you?
So the way I was going to present that was basically, we found hidden CCTV footage of what happened with the suitcase. Sarah Boone got into a gorilla outfit, and this is what happened. Based off of the autopsy report, it's not that far off, which is devastatingly sad. In any case, here we are. We're at the 7:30 mark. Streams are starting for Corey Richens. Put on your onesies, get your coffee. Have a gummy. They're not as dangerous as they're being purported. Gummies are fine. Nothing wrong with a nice gummy to start your day. There's the hair. I got the hair up. I got the onesie on. Check out my shorts. I did 2 Corey Richens shorts. They're kind of underviewed because YouTube thinks that I only do YouTube or Sarah Boone content. So if you're interested in the Corey Richens content, check my page. Oh, I've gone quieter. Okay, I'll just speak up for the end because I see I'm not hitting. Yeah, I'm not on the full. That's it. I hope you're all fine. I'm Dan D. This, well, is it the end of the stream? It's not quite the end of the stream. What else is there to make sure? Dan D, get ad blockers, dude. They're free. What's your browser? I've naturally ad blocked. Like I just normally, but that's not good. Yeah. I'm whatever came with the Mac for my browser. I've only just started using, like, I've been on a phone for probably since about 2007. So my old laptop was running like Windows 2000, and now I'm on a Mac. I don't know what I'm doing. And I always know what to do. Lola, you want to get on camera once more before we go? Let's get you up here. Say goodbye to the people. Say goodbye. We'll go downstairs. We'll have a good morning.